Are break-even stops pointless? Hi, it's Charlie giving you your middle of the week video. So this is something I come across time and time again, especially with shorter term traders, is they get into an entry here, let's say, so this is their entry. Price moves up a little bit off their entry and they can't wait to get their stop loss to break even. Because there's this, which is one of the worst lines I've ever heard, or one of the worst lines I ever hear in trading, is that they then say they're in a, now if they get their stop to break even, they're in a risk-free trade. And that's really, when you think about it, not true. On the trade it is, on the individual trade, yes, if you've got your stop to break even, then you can't lose. But are you overall choking your trading profitability overall by moving your stops to break even a bit too soon, only for markets on some occasions to come down, stop you out, and then actually if you'd have left your stop where it originally was, for them to then start going higher again. So what we're going to do here is have a look at this very thing. So I've taken a back-tested strategy, just to give you a couple of scenarios with that back-tested strategy to make my point clear. So a lot of this actually comes back down to mindset. People want to get that stop to break even as soon as possible, because they then see it as it's a risk-free trade. But is it? If it's impacting your long-term profitability, then you have to ask yourself, is it? And the only way of you knowing is you need to go and back test it. If you don't have a back tested amount of data, you can back test your actual trades you have been in. Go back over them if you have the ability to. If you don't have the ability to, then you should have logged your trades and keep a trading journal so that you can going and do that going forwards. So here's a couple of examples here for you. So I've got a trading, this is just on our software here. So I've just done a couple of back tests. So let's have a look at this. So this is just a strategy back test. That's all it is. Forget the numbers, really. It's just a back test. Excuse me, I've got a cold this week. And so the annualized return on this given back test, on this given strategy, is 28% with a 8% drawdown. Volatility is relatively low. A win rate of 60%, and an average loss of 0.5% with an average gain of 3/4. So it's a 1 to 1.5 risk to reward ratio. There you go, 1 to 1.5 risk reward. Okay, so that's the odds. That's the numbers there. Now, if I introduce on this this back test, moving the stop up, moving the stop to break even, this is what happens to the numbers. So by moving the stop to break even just a bit too soon, you can see that it dramatically affects the annualized return. It's still profitable, but it's a big sacrifice. So yes, the drawdown may come down a bit, because why? Because the win rate has jumped up, because obviously there's a number of trades that just become break-even trades. But it's a big sacrifice. So you're making a big sacrifice just to try and do what? Be right a bit more often. So to have more break-even trades, and obviously that then pulls down your average risk reward. It's still profitable. You can still be profitable with an inverted risk reward, but it's not so good. So you have to ask yourself, go back over your own data or back test. If some strategies do work with moving stops to break even at a given point, but you have to make sure that you are doing that correctly, because I see so many traders trading with and moving their stops too soon, and there's a sacrifice. They may be profitable with it still, but it's a big sacrifice in profit. You really should be measuring yourself in profitability terms, not on trying to be right as much as possible. So Have a look at it. Have a look at what you're doing. Ask yourself, am I ask yourself, am I doing this just to make myself feel better? So, because that's not the way to trade. You don't trade to make yourself feel better. You trade for maximum profitability, really. So, look at your trading, go back over either your historical trades where you've been moving stops to break even and see whether it's worked for you or not. And how much of a sacrifice is it? Some strategies, like I've said, will work and be good with moving stops to break even. But go back and have a test of it, because you may be surprised by the data. That's me done for today. Back at the weekend.